Right, guys, we are back and we're going to give you a dry and wet setup for Bahrain. I don't know when you'll ever need a wet setup. I've only ever seen one race ever produce any sort of rain in a league race. But I'm going to give you both just in case it ever does. And first, we'll start off with the new and updated dry setup. So let's go and load up the new dry setup. So the aerodynamics, you want the front wing aero at 50 and the rear wing aero at 42. Transmission, you want the differential adjustment on throttle at 65% and the differential adjustment off throttle at 85%, and then the engine braking at 100%. Suspension geometry, you want them all the way to the left. And then suspension, you want front suspension at 41, rear suspension at 1, front anti-roll bar at 21, and the rear anti-roll bar at 21. Front ride height at 20, and the rear ride height at 58. Brakes, you want the brake pressure at 100%, and the front brake bias at 55%. And then the tyres, you want them all the way to the right for all four. Now we're going to go into the wet setup in case you ever need it. So we'll load up the Bahrain wet setup. So let's start off with the aerodynamics. You want the front wing aero at 38 and the rear wing aero at 29. Transmission, 25% for the differential adjustment on throttle, 50% for the differential adjustment off throttle, engine braking at 70%. Suspension geometry all the way to the left for the first three, and then 0.15 for rear toe in. Suspension, front suspension at 37, rear suspension at 4, front anti-roll bar at 12 and the rear anti-roll bar at 7, front ride height at 27 and the rear ride height at 58. Brakes, 98% for the brake pressure and 55% for the front brake bias. Tyres, 25.0 for the front and 26.5 for the rears. I hope this helps. These are really good setups for the race here in Bahrain. So I hope you can use them to your advantage and win some league races. Make sure you check out the playlist for any other setups after the update for dry and wet races.